Let's head to India, where a massive military parade was held as part of celebrations for one of the country's most important national holidays, Republic Day.
The holiday recognizes when the country's constitution came into force in 1950. Foreign heads of state are often invited as guests for the celebrations, and this year was no exception. Pachari Raksawang has the details.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi invited leaders from the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. The invitation also coincided with the 25th anniversary of ties between India and ASEAN. The parade took place in front of the presidential palace in New Delhi. It included acrobatic motorbike stunts, as well as a number of other cultural floats. The parade also showed off some military hardware, including supersonic cruise missiles, which have been deployed near the border with China, and made-in-India fighter jets called Tejas. The parade followed a two-day summit between India and ASEAN leaders where they adopted the so-called Delhi Declaration. It aims to increase maritime cooperation in an area that spans from the South China Sea to the Indian Ocean. NHK World's Neha Sharma is tracking the story for us in New Delhi. Neha, why is India keen on strengthening relations with ASEAN?
The presence of the entire ASEAN leadership on this occasion is a showcase of India's Act East policy launched by Prime Minister Modi. He believes South and Southeast Asia will be the world's development engines in the years to come. Plans to consolidate India's Asian ties also come as China asserts its claims to almost all of the South China Sea, which brings in dispute with some South Asian countries. China has also expanded its presence in South Asia, building ports and power plants in countries around India's periphery, such as Pakistan and Sri Lanka. Experts warn that massive Chinese investments under its Belt and Road Initiative may create political and economic instability in the region, impacting India. What's more, India's efforts far trail those of China, whose trade with ASEAN is more than 6 times India's. So a big challenge is there to closing that gap. There's also concern that the influence of the United States in the region is declining. For that reason, India aims to play an important role in controlling the growing influence of an aggressive and economically robust China.
Now, India may be cozying up with ASEAN, but what about Indian-Chinese relations?
When it comes to relations with China, we need to keep in mind that India is the second largest shareholder of the China-conceived Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. So for that reason alone, it's in India's interest to have its good relationships. I have mentioned China's Belt and Road Initiative. India is opposed to it and even boycotted the flagship forum in Beijing last year. But it makes little economic sense for India to exclude itself from massive infrastructure projects in which numerous Asian states are involved, especially given it wants to increase its presence in the region.
Thanks very much, Neha, reporting from New Delhi.